To draw 1-point perspective in the back of a room, I first draw the back wall. So I make a rectangle in the top third of my page, about a third of the way down, to represent the back wall of the room. I then put a vanishing point that's about a third of the way from the top to the bottom of that line. So let's put a line across here that represents our horizon line. The horizon line is your eye level. So if you were standing here, your head would be here, your feet would be here on the floor, right? This is the ceiling of the room. About halfway would be your hips, and your legs would be here. Right? So the horizon line is going to be right there where your eyes are. For interior design, we draw that horizon line or eye level at 5 feet high. Most people are about 5.5 feet to 6 feet, and their eyes hit right about at 5. So if this is 5 feet, we might say the middle of the room is going to be 4. If we wanted to figure that out after the fact, where would our 5-foot line be? Since we said this was an 8-foot room, we know halfway is 4, right? Halfway between 4 and 8 is 6. So 5 feet is going to be right here. This is going to be 2. Right? 2, 4, 6, 8. So I found 5 feet and I've made a line. I draw that line all the way to the edge of my paper, right and left. Okay? Now the vanishing point is what shows the depth in the room, because right now I have a 2-dimensional sheet of paper and I have a 2-dimensional wall. So I want to have that extrude out and come out towards me to show depth. I've got height, which is 8 feet, and I've got width. I don't know what my width is. I could take this and figure that out. If this is 8, I can measure along here and say this is 8, and this is another 8, so it's about 16. This is about twice as wide as it is high. If this person is standing right here in the middle of the room, then the vanishing point is going to be right in the middle. If the person steps to the right, the vanishing point is going to be over on the right. And if they step to the left, the vanishing point is going to be on the left. So the vanishing point can be anywhere inside of this line and this line. For now, we're just going to put it right in the middle. Okay? What that implies is that your eye level is right at that height and that your head's going to be right about there, up to about 6 feet. Okay? The station point is where your feet hit. So right now, the station point, if you're standing with your nose at that wall, is right here. But if you walk out into the room, so if we take a floor plan here, and we say, this person now is going to walk out in the room in this direction, and then they're going to turn and they're going to look back at the wall in this direction, right? So that they're seeing this floor plan or this elevation from out in the room. Then the station point went from here out to here, and it's going to come here, and it's going to walk straight down away from the vanishing point out into the room this way, so that your head might be here. And one rule of perspective is that objects get smaller as they move farther away, right? So if your feet are here and your head is here, then this is the same person as this is, but they're closer to us, so they're going to look bigger, right? So halfway I'm going to put their hips and their rib cage and their head, but their eyes are still going to be at this eye level. No matter where this person stands in the room, the eyes are going to stay here at the horizon line. Okay? So if a person walks clear out here to the front and their head is this big and their shoulders come in like this, their eyes are going to be right here. Okay? So if you're standing in front of me and I'm looking over your shoulder into the room, then you might be this big here, but your eyes are still always going to be on the horizon line. Okay? So perspective implies that there's a horizon line, which is eye level, and that's always going to stay the same. That doesn't change. If you move right and left, then your vanishing point is going to change and your station point is going to change, right? But we draw as if we're a camera, so we sort of freeze things in one spot for that moment of the second that it's recorded on film. So we don't want to have two different vanishing points as if we're walking back and forth in the room. We want to be frozen in one spot. To create the edges of the room, we take from the vanishing point and we draw a line right to the corner of the box. And then we continue that line on out. So here, take your pencil and lay your pencil. We don't go to this corner of the paper here. We go to the edge of the page in that same trajectory. So lay your pencil down next to that line and figure out where that line's going to hit the edge of the paper. Maybe you want to lay a piece of paper or something along there. If you take another piece of paper and you lay it right along that edge, then you can come out here and you can say, this is where I'm going to go off the page. Put a point there. Remove the page because I want you to practice drawing by hand. And connect this, put your eye here and your pencil here, and draw all the way out there till it runs off the page. Continue this. And this line, and this line, until they hit the edges of your paper. And then double check to make sure that here they're not bending, right? If you have a line that's coming this direction and then goes down like that to this corner, then you can see how this line has changed direction right there. That's not something I want to happen. I want to make sure that these lines continue out from this vanishing point through the corners all the way out. Once I've completed that, then I have the back of the room here. This is the floor. This is the ceiling. This is the left wall. And this is the right wall. Right? So if this is the line between the floor and the wall, then a little ant walking across here might come to here and then go straight up and then it'd walk flat across the ceiling again, right? So this is the line between the ceiling and the wall. So these were very light lines drawn back here like construction lines. Now I'm going over top of them and I'm drawing harder so that I get more of a conception that this is me standing inside of a room. Right? So now I have an interior room set up. I want to draw a box in that room. A 1 point perspective, my width is horizontal. Notice the ceiling and the floor line here are going horizontal, and we judge that by the top and bottom of our page. My height is vertical. So this line and this line that indicate the height of the room or the height of the person is parallel to either edge of the paper this way. My depth then, which is this dimension here, is going towards the vanishing point. I only get 3 dimensions, right? And this perspective is a lie. It's the illusion of 3 dimensions on 2. So here I have a 2-dimensional sheet of paper. I'm trying to create the illusion of depth. So I've created this vanishing point. I have this looking like it comes out like this wall's getting bigger and bigger as it comes towards me, right? Because that's one rule of perspective. Things get closer as they get bigger as they get closer, and get smaller as they move off into the distance. All right, so to put a box in this room, I'm going to come out here in the room, maybe somewhere near my station point, and I'm going to make height and width to create a box over here. Do this with me as you watch, and it'll lock it in your mind. Then I go from the vanishing point to each of the 4 corners of the box that I created. So I'm taking this and I'm putting my eye here and I'm shooting towards that vanishing point. Towards the vanishing point, towards the vanishing point, towards the vanishing point. Then I decide how deep my box is going to be. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to say it's going to be here. And then I'm going to take this and go straight up because I've got my vanishing point here and my vertical, or my horizontal. So I'm going to go vertical. Then here I'm going to go horizontal. This goes to vanishing point. Here I'm missing something, right? I only have, at a corner, every corner I should have the 3 represented, right? So here I have vertical, horizontal, vanishing point, vertical, vanishing point, horizontal. Here I'm missing something. What is it? I have vanishing point and horizontal, so I need to go vertical. So this should drop straight down till it hits this corner. So you can imagine this back in here. I have that drawn lightly. Maybe I want to draw this really hard. A good idea is to start these drawings with a 2H pencil and then to jump up to a 2B when you're ready to lock them in. You also, if you draw something really hard and you get a whole bunch of lines going on and you're not really sure what it is you're seeing, you can take your kneaded eraser and you can lighten these lines and get them back to construction line status so that you're seeing your cube out here a little more clearly. All right. Let's draw a box here against the wall. Let's say that we had a cabinet and it was shipped from the factory and they put the whole box right here up against the wall. So here I am at the corner between the wall and the floor. I already have a line going here to vanishing point, so let's take a line here and go straight out horizontally. And at the end of that line, let's go from the vanishing point to that point and out into the room. If I need to lay my pencil down and get myself a line to shoot towards, or if I need to turn my paper so that I can draw that line nice and straight, let's do that. So here's the front of my box. Let's decide where that's going to end and go horizontally again, straight across. Look at the bottom and top of your paper. Make sure that these lines are both horizontal and that these lines both go back to the vanishing point. I'm going to move this up a little bit more so I'll stay on my paper at this end. That's where the box hits the floor, just like this is where the box hits the floor right here. This is where the box hits the floor over here. So now I want to come up the wall. Up, 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 right? Because I have width and depth, I need to make height. I want you to make this box go above the eye level. So I'm seeing the top of this box and I'm seeing the right side of this box. And that's because I'm standing over here. If I have a box that's off to this side of the vanishing point, then I see the side of it here. If I have a box that I'm seeing the top of, then that means it's below my eye level. If this comes up above my eye level, let's make this 6 feet. So come here to your 6 feet and draw a line from your vanishing point through that 6 feet up here and bring this box up to there and bring this box up to there too. Straight up. I'm going to have to turn my page. I'm not doing very well. Need a goal and a point to draw to or I can't make a straight line, right? Now this is dropping towards vanishing point. So here at this corner I have 3 dimensions, right? I have height and width and depth. Here 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 I have height and depth. I don't have width. Width goes horizontal. So let's draw a line straight out from there, this direction, until it hits this vertical line right here. And this right here then is going to be the front corner of that very tall box, right? So then this is going to be invisible because I'm not going to see behind the end of my cabinet, right? Take a line from this point right here and draw it towards the vanishing point. and then take this vertical line and connect it right here. This is the front of my box. What am I missing? Right here I need a horizontal line that'll show the inside of that cabinet. So all of this is going to be invisible in here. Right? I've even covered part of my floor there. So I put dotted lines where things are invisible now. Right? If I had a box above eye level that sat up here, I could draw a box like this in the room. And if I draw lines to the vanishing point here, and then something across, then this would need to go up. And so now I'm seeing a box up here where I'm seeing the end, I'm seeing underneath, and I'm seeing the right side of it because it's on the right side of my viewer, the right side of my vanishing point. If a box should sit right directly in front of the person, or it should cross my station point, then I wouldn't see the right side or the left side of it. It would just go up like this. Let's say it's going to be this tall. Then this would drop down here until it meets this going back that way, and then it would come across this way till it meets this coming across this way and go up that way. So that's what that box would look like inside of there. That's how to draw boxes in a 1-point perspective.